I'm not gonna lie to you, I do love that song Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. I love it. I was tapping my foot. Star Trek Beyond. What? Review's only like a week and a half late. No big deal. So Star Trek Beyond is the third Star Trek movie among the J.J. Abrams rebooted Star Trek franchise, but J.J. Abrams did not direct this one. This is directed by Justin Lin, who we have seen makes exciting action movies, and now he's applying that to Star Trek in a special way. In Star Trek Beyond, the crew of the Enterprise have been doing their deep space exploration mission for a couple years now. James C. Kirk's kind of feeling like, well, where does it end? I'm starting to feel like, why are we doing this? Then all hell breaks loose. They get stranded on this planet where there's this asshole named Krull? Wait, Krall, not Kroll. Alright. Krall is capturing the crew of the Enterprise, and he has a master scheme of destruction. We don't know what it is yet, but hey, Kirk has to stop him. In a surprisingly fulfilling Star Trek film. I mean, by the time the third film rolls around in any franchise, you start thinking like, alright, when's it gonna lose steam? J.J. Abrams isn't doing it anymore, he's not directing it anyway, so you're like, is this going to be as good? And I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie. First of all, the crew of the Enterprise, they all still got it. This movie actually concentrates on certain relationships and friendships more than it has in the past. Also, this new character, Jayla, they run into down on that planet. She helps him out. I really liked her. Yes, for that reason. And also because I thought she was a cool character. She was kick-ass, she was relevant, she was helpful. Perfect. And Krall was a good villain. Ever since the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie, I was like, all right, that was a weak villain. How about we not do that again? Bringing in Cumberbatch for the sequel is a surefire way to fix that problem, but in this one, or now we don't have Cumberbatch. We have another actor, I don't know if it's a spoiler to tell you who plays him, so I'm not going to, but that was a solid antagonist right there. But the biggest thing this movie impressed me on is how it's an exciting action movie for sure, but it also kind of brings it back to what you loved about old school Star Trek. The biggest gripe I've heard ever since J.J. Abrams did his whole, like, reset button is the fact that it's now an action franchise, it doesn't have any of the heart. It doesn't have any of the life lessons that the old Star Trek series had and they were known for. This movie actually throws some of those nuggets out there. I mean, when the villain's talking with Kirk throws something back at him and you're like, that's relevant to humanity. And that's what Star Trek is known for. Props, my man. Props for bringing that back. I can't give enough props for that. As someone who grew up on and loved Star Trek and Star Wars, yeah. Before Abrams directed both, you could still love both. I thought that was a solid throwback, can't stress that enough, and the action is really exciting. Also, props to the heart and the feels in here, man. Just character-wise, there were more than a couple of moments where you're like, I really feel the bonding among these characters. I really feel like that character is really contemplating his shit, and then that really nostalgic moment that also hits you, hits him, and you connect with the character now, and it's just successfully done. The bummer that this movie runs into is I feel like it was such a successful throwback to old Trek, and while still incorporating new Trek style, it doesn't really break any new ground. I mean, even there's this big reveal in the movie, and as you're watching the movie, you're like, I saw that coming 10 parsecs away. It's pretty formulaic. Enterprise goes out, Enterprise gets its ass kicked, now there's trouble, Kirk needs to stop it, and here we are. It's reliably entertaining, but there's no real wow factor. There's no real thing that makes you go, oh, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Guys, in the end, Star Trek Beyond was entertaining. It's great to see the crew back. It's pretty formulaic, it's pretty predictable, but it is very entertaining. I loved it. And it was a successful merging of new Star Trek, action Star Trek, and the sentimentality of old Trek that hopefully appeases both groups of fans. I will certainly say Star Trek Beyond is worth watching and worth buying on Blu-ray. Alright guys, so Star Trek Beyond, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or what's your favorite and least favorite Star Trek movies? Whatever they are, whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.